Yo, this is Mac doing something a little bit different this time around. A little bit more chill, something kind of more casual, a little more stream of consciousness type deal compared to some of my longer like essays or longer form videos, things like that. Today, I'm doing a tier list of every single world in all of the Kingdom Hearts games with an asterisk that I will mention here in a minute. But I am recording this as March Caprice is nearing its end. And so Kingdom Hearts is, at the forefront of my mind, which it usually is, my favorite game series of all time. Done some videos on that. Like, I love Kingdom Hearts. It's always been very, very close to my heart, very, very close to my mind at just about all times. But never more so than now, as March Caprice is nearing its conclusion. March Caprice, for those that don't know, is an online celebration of Kingdom Hearts from creators all over the country and all over the world, even. It's fantastic. This is my first time taking part in it. I had one of my videos premiere at March Caprice not too long ago. It was an amazing experience. I loved it. If you are even a casual fan of Kingdom Hearts, you honestly owe it to yourself to go check it out. Genuinely. It was so cool. I got to see all kinds of really, really cool stuff. Amazing art, amazing videos, amazing music, amazing writing, amazing merchandise. Like, it was just a very, very cool experience. And if you were somebody that has, like I said, even like a passing interest or fascination with Kingdom Hearts, you should definitely go check it out. Whether you saw it live when it premiered or whether you are just kind of catching up with it after the fact, it was awesome. And I definitely think that you should go out of your way and check it all out. But with that being said, after that event, I'm just kind of Kingdom Heartsified, right? I'm inspired to do more with the series right now. And as such, I wanted to make this tier list because, I've been working on a lot of longer videos, a lot of more intensive stuff. I'm working on scripts for stuff. I'm working on another video right now that's going to be a multi-part thing. So there's just a lot happening. So I thought I'd just do something a little bit quicker, a little bit more chill, more casual, right? Less work, not to be lazy, but, Let's talk about the tiers real quick and discuss how things are going to be organized. So pretty straightforward, right? Got our 5 tiers here. We'll talk through each one real quick. Whack tier. The world is whack. I do not like it. I do not enjoy it. I don't really like going here. It doesn't hold any sort of special significance to me, whether that be because of the gameplay of it or the story of it or anything like that. No hate. If this is a world you like, nothing personal against you. We all like different things. It's all good. But it's just these worlds that go in the whack tier are ones I do not like that much. I don't look forward to visiting them. I don't look forward to talking about them, right? Just, they don't really move me. Okay tier. The world's okay. It's fine. It's serviceable. It's cool. It does what it needs to do. It's just not really one of my favorites. I don't hate going there or anything. I don't despise the idea of visiting that world. It just doesn't, make me excited to visit it. It's all right. You know what I mean? As opposed to good, which is it's solid. This world is perfectly reasonable. I don't dread going there. I have no strong opinions of it. It's just perfectly fine. And I go through there without a care in the world. But I'm also not like jonesing to go back. You know what I mean? It's perfectly average. Let me get into rad tier. Rad is, I like this world. I actively enjoy visiting there. I actively enjoy the story or, whatever other element about the world. But this is one that I actively want to go back and visit. It's not quite that upper echelon, but it's one that I enjoy. And finally, with the goated tier, goated is my favorite worlds. These are ones I consistently reference when I talk about how much I like these games. They have some sort of special significance to me. I think they're enjoyable to play in. I think the story of them is interesting, right? We'll talk through all that stuff. But the goated tier is for those worlds that are just a cut above. The goated tier is my favorite Kingdom Hearts worlds. Last thing before we get to the ranking itself, a couple quick disclaimers. I will not be ranking worlds from the game 358 Days Over 2. It's the only Kingdom Hearts game I never got a chance to play myself, so it would be unfair of me to rank those worlds. And most of them are just kind of retreads, right, of worlds we've already visited, but I just will not be ranking those. I also will not be ranking worlds from COM, Chain of Memories. I will be ranking Recom, because I have played that a lot. I have not played COM itself. I haven't played the original Game Boy Advance COM since I was but a wee lad, right, years ago. It wouldn't be right of me to rank these worlds based on my limited memory of what they were like however many years ago. I'm old. So I will not be ranking Com Worlds. I will be ranking Recom Worlds. So no Days, no Com, but Recom will be in here. And everything else is on the table. Everything else I've played through, every other world I have some sort of opinion on, be it positive or less positive. So let's go ahead, talk through this thing, and let's run it. So up first, Destiny Islands. This is rad. Destiny Islands is awesome. I like Destiny Islands quite a bit in Kingdom Hearts 1. I think it's an awesome introduction to the game. It's fun. It's interesting. It's got good energy, right? Good vibes. It's got a welcoming appearance until it doesn't, right? Until things kind of go south. But I do enjoy Destiny Islands. I think it's a great way to start these games off, and I very much enjoy visiting them. They're not quite at the top of my list. The Destiny Islands are not quite in goated tier for various reasons, but you know, that music hits and it's so iconic and it's so ingrained in our brains and our hearts, right? It's awesome. I think Destiny Islands is a great starting world. Its biggest thing is just that it's a little bit one-dimensional, right? It is just an island. You go up the ladders and that's fun. You go up the trees and that's cool. But other than the very end of the game when you revisit it, it just doesn't have that same sort of staying power as some of the other ones. So it's in rad tier. Traverse Town. Traverse Town's goated. Traverse Town in Kingdom Hearts 1 is spectacular. It's got maybe the best field theme of any world in certainly that game and maybe overall. The Traverse Town theme in Kingdom Hearts 1 is one of my favorite pieces of music I've ever heard. That might say something about me, but I think it's amazing. I think it's brilliant. It's composed beautifully. I think that Traverse Town is inviting. I think it's fun to traverse it. It's a great way of teaching you how to explore in Kingdom Hearts 1. It's also a great way of teaching you the combat mechanics. It brings everyone together, starts your party. It's one of those places that you wish was a real place, right? Like Traverse Town is a spot that you wish you could visit yourself. And that's what I think is such a great way to identify that it's a cut above. You know what I mean? Traverse Town's amazing. It's like Traverse Town's so fun. It's like a warm fire. It's like a roaring, not even roaring, it's like a nice cozy fire in a log cabin that invites you in and puts a little blanket around you, gives you some hot tea or something, shelter you from the cold. Traverse Town's just the best. It's so cozy, and I love it. I love Traverse Town so much. Wonderland. Wonderland is, it's good. Wonderland's good. It's a decent retelling, or at least it's a decent little inclusion with the story of the movie, which is always cool, right? We love when the story of the movie and the story of Kingdom Hearts kind of weaves together. Wonderland itself, when it comes to exploring the world, is okay. Like, it's fine. It's all right. It does not move me terribly. I think that the aesthetics of the world are cool. I love that it's wacky. I love that it's like almost like cardboard in a way with the square rooms. I think that it's a neat interpretation of the kind of gimmick of Wonderland, but at the same time, it's a little drab. There's not that much color in the actual forest itself. The Queen's Courtyard is cool, right? Running through there, the Card Soldier Battle, I enjoy all that, but the walking through of the forest itself is just kind of whatever. Or also, this is probably not a hot take, but I think that the world could have benefited from some more interaction with the members of the Wacky Tea Party themselves. Walking into the room and seeing the setup is very cool. It's very sweet. It's cute, but it's a little bit lifeless when no one's there, right? Walking to a party by yourself, which, I mean, I've been there. So, you know, it's fine. You go into the forest, you grab the nut, you get big, you kind of leave, and that's just kind of that. I'm also not a big Bazaar Room guy. It's a cool gimmick when you first show up there. It's a cool idea. But that's kind of the highlight of the world, is that Bazaar Room. And, you know, flipping the room over and stuff, I think that's very fun. But at the same time, it's just a room. You know what I mean? And so if the world was a bit bigger, and I get it, it's an early world, you don't want to get too massive or whatever, but yeah, it's fine. It just doesn't really move me. Deep Jungle, it's okay. These probably aren't terribly hot takes so far. We're probably getting some hotter ones as we go, but Deep Jungle's okay. Amazing start. Amazing start. You pop in, you immediately do battle with Sabor. That's super cool. You hang with Tarzan, that's great. But the joke of Deep Jungle is that it's all just jungle. And it is. The Jungle Slider game is cool. It's fun to go down the vines. It's fun to go down the vines the first few times you do them. But at the same time, it's just green everywhere. The Heartless are annoying at times, especially the pink Heartless, the monkey Heartless that like throw the slingshots at you. Or they don't throw their slingshots, but like, they're using the slingshots to hit you from afar. That's kind of a pain in the early game. I'm also, this might be like a helpful disclaimer for my motivations with a lot of these. I'm not a very good video game player. Like, I've played through these games a whole bunch of times, and I play video games when I can, as I'm able to, but I'm not like a hardcore, like, critical level 1, no items, kingdom key only, no magic guy. I don't enjoy playing the games that way, and that's okay, right? It's all good. We have different flavors of ice cream, but it's just never been my way of playing the game. So like some of these worlds I might mention the combat, you guys might be like, well, that's just because you're bad. And I am. Yeah, like I will say, like I am bad. Yeah, I am very bad. But anyway, I'm not moving it because I think Deep Jungle is just okay. Agrabah. Agrabah is rad. Agrabah is great. I think it's very fun. Agrabah is cool. It's another example of a really seamless weaving of the story of the movie in with the game. I think that's awesome. I love the way that Agrabah interacts with the different aspects of the world. The streets of the city, the different shops you can run into, the visiting of the Cave of Wonders. I just think it's all very fun. I think Agrabah is a good time in Kingdom Hearts 1, and it's rad. I wish you could have gone to the palace. That's the only thing I'll kind of say about it. I think going into the palace just would just kind of lifted it to the next level. But it's not, the end of the world. You can't. That's why it's still in rad. But that just would have kind of made it that extra step up. Olympus Coliseum it's okay. It's okay. Olympus Coliseum is okay. The biggest thing, Hercules is my favorite Disney movie. Potential hot take. Potential cold take? Let me know. Hercules is my favorite Disney movie of all time. And it's such an awesome, sprawling world. It's a great representation of like ancient Greece and everything. It's a shame that Olympus Coliseum is literally just a tournament space in Kingdom Hearts 1. You have your like open area that you walk into, the foyer of the Coliseum itself. You do a bunch of fights and then you leave, and that's just what the world is. That's not terrible. It's not like awful. I mean, that is what Olympus Coliseum implies, right? It's the Coliseum itself. But, and I'm not like weighing it against what we would get later on either. Like, even back when I first played Kingdom Hearts 1, I was like, this is cool, but man, I wish I could just do more here. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's okay. It's fine. I'm not ranking calm, but I will say I am a calm RPG turn-based Olympus Coliseum enjoyer. I think that's actually a cool gimmick of that world. And I wouldn't hate if we did more of that in different games. Maybe not like if there was a mobile game-ish, right? Where you could do something like that. And I know like Dark Road / K-Hux / Union Cross / all that kind of gets into that idea. But I just think that's a fun gimmick and I don't mind it. But we're not ranking that world. We're just ranking Kingdom Hearts 1, Olympus Coliseum. And despite it being my favorite movie, and I, don't hate it or anything, it is going to be just okay. Atlantica is... So it's okay. I was thinking about putting it higher. It's okay. I don't hate this world. I know people really hate the swimming in this world, and I get it. Like, it's not the most fun thing in the world, but I also don't think it's, like, terrible. And maybe that's because I've mostly played the remakes, right? I've mostly played 1.5, 2.5, and all that. And I haven't played the OG Kingdom Hearts 1 in a long time. But I think Atlantica is okay. Honestly, my biggest thing with Atlantica is simply that I just find it kind of drab. Swimming around. It's a cool looking world when you first come in, but you quickly realize that everything is just kind of gray rocks and just swimming heartless, and that's just kind of what it is. Maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe I'm being a little bit too like, well, that's what the ocean is. It's just like a bunch of rocks and like some fish sometimes. Like, yeah, that's fair. I don't know. That's a very colorful movie. There's a lot of like bright colors and everything with that movie. So I think that it wouldn't be out of the question for that world to reflect that. But what can I say? Monstro, yeah, no, it's whack. I'm sorry. I know. You're gonna rip me up, and I get it. I understand that this is such a tepid, like, oh, you're bad at the game, like you think it's confusing, like you don't know what you're talking about. Just follow the search ghost. That's 100, like, super valid, super valid. I just don't like this conceptually. That's not even true. I do like this conceptually. That's not even like fair to say. I like the concept of being swallowed by Monstro and that being a world. I think that's fine. I do think that it's not the most exciting to just be swallowed by Monstro and then have every room look the same. This is not a, like, you've heard this before. I'm not saying anything you as a Kingdom Hearts fan don't already know. Yeah, it does nothing for me. It just does nothing for me. Every room is the same purpley, green, yellowy, like, mass or whatever, except for the intro. And I love the first room. When you're in the room and like you see Geppetto's like made all these like makeshift catwalks in Monstro's mouth. I think it's awesome. It's like, oh wow, visual storytelling in the environment. Geppetto's been here for a while. Look what he's been able to build or whatever. There's ship pieces and stuff. Maybe he hasn't built those, but like someone has built them and like whatever. It's awesome. I love that first room, but yeah, it just, once you just kind of start spending time in that room, it just kind of falls off for me. What can I say? Yeah, whack. Sorry, I don't like it. Although the theme is good. The theme is awesome. The main theme of the world is tight. It just does nothing for me. Sorry. Halloween Town is rad. Halloween Town's good. Halloween Town's really good. I like it quite a bit. I think Halloween Town is underappreciated, potentially. Because even though it doesn't have a ton of different rooms comparatively, does it? I don't know. I don't have the maps memorized or anything. I'm just going off my own brain right here. But even though it might not have the same sort of depth that some of these other worlds do, I think Halloween Town captures the essence of the movie and of the world very well. Obviously, the music's great. I think the Heartless of the world are great. It's cute that Sora, Donald, and Goofy get the costumes. I think that's adorable. I wish more worlds did that, especially in like the later games. I think it's great. I think Halloween Town's awesome. It's not quite goated. It's so close. It really is. It's so close. It's so close. It's not that close though, but it is so close. But it's not close enough. But it is great. Halloween Town is awesome. Shouts out. Kingdom Hearts 1 Neverland. It is... it's whack. Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's just, again, this is a tepid take, but like, it's not Neverland. It's not, right? It's not even Neverland, even though it's two different areas. Neither of them are Neverland. It's Captain Hook's ship and it's Big Ben. That's lame. This is improperly selling me a product. Don't tell me I'm buying Neverland and then give me a ship and a clock. And I like pirates. I like the Captain Hook deal. I don't mind being on the ship, but this is Captain Hook's ship. You could have made Captain Hook's ship be like Monstro, where like Captain Hook is sailing through the lanes between, and then he captures you, and it's like, oh, we're on the ship in the lanes between. That's cool, and whatever. Like it just doesn't do it for me. Hollow Bastion. Oh, it's so close. It's so close to goated. It is. It's not quite there, though. I should have put more tiers, honestly. Now that I'm looking at this, I probably should have put, like, more discrepancy. But we're going, so it is what it is. This is my first time doing a video like this, so there's stuff we can learn for next time. Hollow Bastion is awesome. It's such a cool idea. There's obviously the emotional connection of all the sort of peaks of the Kingdom Hearts 1 story that take place in that world. I think it's a great world. I do think the Beast inclusion in that world is a little bit tacked on, only because it's just like they put him there and they were like, hey, like, he's here now, like, as opposed to if we even got a scene of like him chasing the Heartless to save Belle or whatever. I don't know. I do like the world. I'm not trying to hate on the world. I think it's great. The fact that you can do cool things like freeze the bubbles, which I only found out about worryingly recently. Obviously my friends are my power. You've got turning to a Heartless. You've got the battle with Riku. It's all great. Hollow Bastion is fantastic. It's just not quite there for me. End of the World's okay. This is a purely functional thing. End of the World is used as a climax to the rest of the game. It's a hodgepodge of the worlds that came before it. It's perfectly fine for what it is. It's not a place that I am like ever jazzed to go back to. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. That's all I have to say about it. Castle Oblivion is good. The castle itself is very cool looking. I've actually, you know what? I probably shouldn't even rank the Chain of Memories parts of the castle because it's just different rooms. So they're like fine, whatever. They're all okay. There you go. Every Chain of Memories room is okay. Castle Oblivion is a really cool idea. I love Recom and Com overall. I think those are great games. The card mechanic, the combat, whatever, say what you will about it. People will continue to forever. I like this game and I love this setting. I think the idea of going through this castle with every single step you take, with every single room you hike through, you're losing your memory. I think that's great. I think that's awesome. Yeah, shouts out. I think Castle Oblivion is good. It's only good as opposed to like rad or goated just because the world itself is like the shape of the world is dependent on the world cards you pick to turn into the different rooms. And Castle Oblivion itself is just kind of like a white manor, but it's very cool looking white manor. It just is a white like manor, and that's what it is. So it's good. Shouts out Castle Oblivion. Yeah, so we're not going to do Chain of Memories, I've decided. We're not going to do that at all, so we're going to, again, skip days. Yeah, sorry, I know. But there's not a world in here that we're not going to talk about or have not already talked about anyway, so it's fine, really. It's all fine. So we go to Kingdom Hearts 2. Twilight Town is goated. Twilight Town's amazing. Can you tell that I kind of like the peaceful sort of hub world gimmicks, right? Twilight Town's great. Lazy Afternoons is iconic as a song. Twilight Town is so well established, and it's such a great way to start that game off. I know there's a lot of people that hate the start of Kingdom Hearts 2, and like I'm willing to hear the argument that it could be shorter. It's like what if you run it, it's like 2-something hours or something. I remember it takes me a while to get through too. But I just think it's so nice. It's so cozy. It does a great job of establishing who Roxas is, who his friends are. The world feels alive. There's things going on that aren't necessarily to do with you. You're just happen to be there while they're happening, like struggle, like the odd jobs. I just think Twilight Town is fantastic. It's so good. And it's only going to get better in later games. Whoa, heads up. So after Twilight Town, we get into the Mysterious Tower, which is rad. This is potentially a hot take. I think the Mysterious Tower is great. I think it's cool. I think it's cool that Yensid is such an integral part of the story. I think that he's a cool character. I love that the Mysterious Tower is this like nondescript single location where one of the most powerful people in the series just resides and does his own thing. Like, what does Yensid do? He just chills in his tower and tells people to go do stuff while he like sits there and like, smokes weed and watches Clerks. Like, I don't know what he's doing, but he is chilling, and I think that's great. I love that the Mysterious Tower exists. I hate the mushroom that's there in Kingdom Hearts 2, but that is neither here nor there. I think that Mysterious Tower is a great idea. Hollow Bastion in Kingdom Hearts 2 is good. It's a more built-out version of Kingdom Hearts 1, right? So why is it ranked lower? Well, I just think it is a little bit... No, it's... it's good. It just doesn't hold as much space in my brain. I think the water flowing out of Kingdom Hearts 1, and I think like the bubbles and everything, it just has more going on. Whereas Hollow Bastion in Kingdom Hearts 2 is just kind of like a decrepit place. It just kind of exists. I do love the Battle of 1,000 Heartless. Obviously, I think that's a great set piece. But the world itself is just kind of a place that is broken, and that's just what it is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a good... I'll be honest. Like, I know I'm kind of talking it out, and it just sounds like I'm rambling. I kind of am. I just have more of an emotional connection to 1 than 2 for the Hollow Bastions. Is that unfair? Probably. But, yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't... It doesn't do that much for me. Yeah, I don't know. Land of Dragons is good. Land of Dragons is good. Land of Dragons is a solid world. Land of Dragons is okay. Land of Dragons is a solid world. It's okay. You know what I love about Land of Dragons is the different environments. I love that you go from this like rocky mountain crop, you go to this bamboo forest, you go to the snowy mountaintop. I think that's all very cool. You also have the military camp, and I think that's great. My issue with Land of Dragons mostly is just that it kind of. You also go to the palace too. I'm really putting this place over. I do like that there's a lot of different places within Land of Dragons. I think the reason it's okay instead of one of the higher ones is just that I don't love the. Like, I know it's been said to death. Better YouTubers than me, like Regular Pat, have talked about how, like, it's very conical, right? Or not even conical, it's just a straight line. I don't necessarily agree with that for all the Kingdom Hearts 2 worlds, but I do think that's true of Land of Dragons. Land of Dragons just kind of feels like you are going straight the entire time. I know there's like a little side sections or whatever in like the mountain or the like rocky section or whatever. But the like military camp is literally a square. The palace is a square. The top of the mountain is a square. Like Land of Dragons, it just kind of feels like you're just going in a straight line the entire time. And so it just doesn't do much for me in that aspect. I also hate the Centaur Heartless. Again, I know I'm bad, and I recognize that I'm bad, and that's whatever. But yeah, those guys just suck. Like, they're so annoying. I don't like having to deal with them, especially in the early game. Yeah. What can I say? Next up, Beast Castle. Beast Castle is good. It's fine. Beauty and the Beast is not a movie that I like have a ton of love for. It's a good movie. But it's way prettier in the movie than it is in this game. And I know that that's because they kind of take place in different times. Like, the movie, you know, obviously focuses on Belle and Beast's relationship as they kind of progress. Whereas, you know, this is just based on the time where they are kind of like coexisting as opposed to like being together or whatever. So it's very dreary and it's very kind of whatever. I think it's fine. Like, it's a good spot. The Zaldin thing there is mostly my kind of beef with it. The whole Zaldin like subplot of like, oh, like I'm gonna prove that like I can, and I might be misremembering this, but like I can kind of prove that like you can be turned into a Heartless by taking the thing that means the most to you type deal. Like, it's interesting, I guess, but it doesn't really go anywhere. And like he runs Belle out to the courtyard, and then like Belle elbows him, and then that's just kind of the end of it. And it's like, all right, well, boss fight, now you die. I don't know. It just doesn't move me that much. It's fine for what it is. It's cool that it has different sub areas. I always appreciate that, especially in Kingdom Hearts 2. But yeah, it's okay. It's good. Well, actually, it's not okay. It's good, right? It's average. Olympus Coliseum and the Underworld in Kingdom Hearts 2 is rad because I love that they expanded the world. That's all it takes. I think Hercules is a great movie, and I love that the world is more built out in this game because you have the Coliseum, but you also have the Underworld. And I know the Underworld is also a Coliseum, but it's better because it's more fleshed out. It is also a straight line. Like, you run through the corridors or whatever, and you go, and it's kind of annoying because it can be dreary. And then like that water deal, or like when it's all gray or green or whatever, before you fight like Demyx, it can be kind of like annoying to go through that. I recognize all of that. Don't get me wrong. But I also love that it expanded on Kingdom Hearts 1 to give us a more fleshed out version of that world. I think that's cool. I just think it's cool. I think it's neat, and I like it. I think this is like an underappreciated world. I think it has a lot of really cool things going for it. I love the music. The music is like very syncopated, and it's very like, I think it's in like 7/4 or something. I'd have to double check, but it's like, it's just very foreboding, and it is not in the same meter as a lot of other music in these games. Like, it's not 4/4 or 3/4. It's a lot more specific, and I just think that does a great job at building tension in that world. I think it's fun. I like it quite a bit. Disney Castle is okay. It's good. It's okay. Literally the definition of a straight line. You have the one room, you have a corridor, you have the throne room, which is just a straight line. You go down there to get to Timeless River. It's okay. I hate escort missions. Shocker, I know. Who loves those? Nobody. But yeah, the Mickey Mouse March thing is annoying. Sorry. Like, I don't like that one song loops constantly. Which is going to be a problem with other worlds here in a minute. Or another world. But yeah, Disney Castle is purely a vehicle to get to Timeless River, which is goated. This is a really cool idea. I love animation. As I record this, that's one of the things I'm working on, is like a video talking about animation. I love animation, and the fact that Kingdom Hearts 2 goes back to the silent era, or at least like, you know, the the sort of 1920s, 30s, 40s, the black and white era, the rubber hose, all that. Like, I think that's great. I think it's such a cool idea. It is fun to go to. I know that the car guys are awful. They are. But I just think it's such a cool idea for a world. I love that there's the other versions, like Pete runs into his old self. Like, I just think stuff like that's so charming, and it's such a fun place to go to. This is just a really cool idea. A lot of these get points just for their like execution based on the idea of the world, and I think this is awesome. I think Timeless River is great. Port Royal is good. Port Royal is totally fine. I don't know how well the live action stuff necessarily translates to Kingdom Hearts 2. Does a lot better in Kingdom Hearts 3. That's fine. It's a graphical thing, whatever. But, you know, I love that the pirates have the whole fight in the moon, you can hurt them, fight in shadow, you can't thing. I think that's cool. I do hate the Barbossa fight. That fight sucks, personally. I know, get good, whatever. I don't like that fight. I think it's not fun. I don't want to have to chase down this Heartless to go do damage to him. It's not enjoyable for me. It's not a thing I would look forward to doing. I do like that you can travel to the different parts of the map. I don't like that they all look the same. Port Royal itself is awesome, running through the city, firing off the cannons and stuff. Like, I think that's very cool. Or not firing, you can't fire them in this game, but like you can run past them, you run like the parapet or whatever. You're running through the city. That's all great. I don't like that you just select the place on a map, you go there, and it's just another kind of broken shipyard. It's just a little samey, that's all. It's not a huge deal. It's not awful or anything. Obviously, it's good. I do like what it does well. I just don't like what it doesn't do well. And what it doesn't do well, I actively dislike about it. Like, it's you know what I mean? It's one of those things where I really appreciate what they're going for, and I think it's cool that they decided to go and bring in a live action property into the game, but it doesn't really hit as hard as it could. And it will later on, right? Potentially. Kingdom Hearts 2 Atlantica, yeah, fine. Like, whatever. I like rhythm games. I love Melody Memory. I think Melody Memory is like a really cool idea. The music of Kingdom Hearts is one of the most important aspects of it as a property, and I think it's one of the most important aspects of the series to me personally. I think Yoko Shimomura is legitimately a genius, like an actual classical definition of a genius. With that said, Atlantica's not even really a world, and the music that they do have is not great. And it's not like a cringe thing, like, oh, this game is like cringe. Like, yeah, dog, you're playing game where you team up with Donald and Goofy to run through and like save the worlds and like save people's hearts. Like, it's not going to have the emotional complexity and like mature themes of like God of War. Like, that's not its point. I don't care about the cringe aspects of Kingdom Hearts. I think they're fun and charming. Like, who cares? But I do think that the songs they have in that world are not fun to play as. I mean, yeah, whatever. It's Atlantica from Kingdom Hearts 2. You don't need me to explain it to you. Like, it's just not it, and that's okay. Agrabah from Kingdom Hearts 2 is also whack. And this is potentially another hot take because, you know, Kingdom Hearts 1 is so good. I hate the carpet section in this game. I don't like that. I don't like the, like, on-rails flying around, which I know you do at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1, but, like, you just sit there and it kind of does it for you. I don't like on-rail sections in games in general. They just aren't that fun to me. Like Star Fox, for instance, Star Fox, like that's the whole thing. It's like you fly through. I don't love Star Fox that much for reasons like that. I'm not saying I necessarily have to have like gigantic free reign. Like it has to be, you know, GTA or Horizon scale map or anything like that. But I just don't like going in a straight line and holding down a button and that be my experience with the world. And I know that's only one part of the world, but I also, you know, I find the boss fight with the ice guy and the fire guy a little bit, you know, just not that interesting. The Jafar fight is horrendous, personally. I hate the Jafar fight. I think it's really bad. Just not fun. Yeah, doesn't do anything for me. Halloween Town, on the other hand, is rad. The Christmas Town inclusion is awesome. Great idea. You get more out of Christmas Town in this game almost than you did in the movie, which is cool. The Oogie Boogie fight in this game is maybe not as fun as the first game, but I don't think that it's bad. It's just not quite as good. Even just little things like being able to go into the forest and see the other doors with the other holidays, I just think that's such a cool little addition. Again, straight line-itis is apparent here, but the world is just, it's very well built, and it just makes sense. Halloween Town doesn't lose anything by having Christmas Town added to it. It's fun. I think it's great. Pride Lands. This is potentially a hot take. I think they're okay. I don't know. Is this a hot take? Like, do people love the Pride Lands Kingdom Hearts 2? I don't love just like barren wasteland. It's borderline whack. If I'm being completely honest with you, it's super borderline whack. I don't like the Pride Lands. Ooh, man, I might. Let's talk about it real quick. I don't like the Pride Lands. I don't mind the Lion Sora. I know people hate that, and they're like, well, you have less options. You lose like all the magic you've built out or whatever. Like, that doesn't even bother me. I don't mind gimmick transformations like that. I just really don't like how this world looks. I don't love the boss fights. I don't love the Scar boss fight. I don't like the story of this world at all. Characters just kind of feel weird to me. It's barren, man. It's gray. And I know that, again, this takes place at a part of the story where, like, whatever, that makes sense. That's fine. But it's just not fun to go to. It's just not that much. Oh, man, it's so borderline whack. Oh, yeah, I'm doing it. It's whack. I don't like it. I don't like Pride Lands. The Pride Land, whatever. I don't like Pride Land. It's just not fun for me. I don't. When I play through Kingdom Hearts 2, which is not even my favorite Kingdom Hearts game, which is probably the hottest take of the video, is I love Kingdom Hearts 2, but it's not my favorite Kingdom Hearts game. I don't enjoy going to Pride Land at all. Yeah. So, whatever. Space for it, Paranoids is okay. This is fine. A lot of cool story stuff going on here. Love that it ties into, Radiant Garden. I think that's great. I am not impressed with the world itself. I've watched Tron. I like Tron. I'm like a Tron guy. I do enjoy that. I enjoy Tron Legacy quite a bit. I love getting to team up with Tron. I think that's cool. I appreciate they went for like kind of an underneath property. But the playing of the world isn't that fun to me. I think the boss fight at the end with like Sark and the MCP is cool. I do like the shields gimmick. It stops Sark from attacking you. That's well and good. But the world itself just doesn't really kind of blow me away. It's all right. Dark World, you don't spend a ton of time here, so we're going to go ahead and just say okay, because it's just kind of a means to an end story-wise. Whatever. World That Never Was is good. This is a great place to end the game. Getting to see the headquarters of the organization is super meaningful to people when you first play through that game. At least it was to me. Boss fights there are great. The Roxas boss fight in 1.5 is brilliant. It's so good. The final story there is great. Reason it's not any higher is, again, just because it's sort of just is what it is. It's just a giant white sort of like apartment building, for lack of a better term. I know it's not. It's like a whatever. It's like a more built out castle, but it's essentially an apartment building. They all live there. They all chill there. Keyblade Graveyard, we're going to skip just because technically it's just in the movie, right? So like whatever. But that's Kingdom Hearts 2. So this is Kingdom Hearts 2 for me. Pretty even with Kingdom Hearts 1. There's definitely more stuff I dislike in Kingdom Hearts 2. But I also really like a lot of stuff in Kingdom Hearts 2. So there you go. We go to Birth by Sleep. Land of Departure is this is okay. It's fine. Land of Departure being Castle Oblivion, I think that's a super cool idea, the reveal or whatever, but that's not, the world itself necessarily. I mean, I guess it is the world itself, but like, you don't play that aspect of it. Whatever. It's fine. It's okay. It's a totally fine opening spot of that game. You bash the wheels around or whatever, and then you move on, and then you just kind of, you don't really get to explore it beyond that one sort of intro training ground, and then obviously the part with Terra and Aqua where you beat up the light balls. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Mysterious Tower here, once again, I'm gonna say it's like rad, because it's basically the exact same thing, so we'll just keep it there because it's the same thing, so we're not even gonna bother. Enchanted Dominion. Enchanted Dominion is pretty good, man. It's a solid world. It's pretty fun. I do like getting to... I mean, right, so the cool thing about this game is that it kind of depends who you're playing as, right? Because your experience will be different. So I'm going kind of overall in general. Enchanted Dominion is a cool world. I love getting to go fight Maleficent in her castle. This is a small thing, I love that her goons, like the baddies from the movie, are enemies you can fight in this game. I love little stuff like that. Not everything has to be heartless, or in this case, unversed. The fact that you get to go actually battle not only bosses, but like small enemies from the movies, I just think that's awesome. I think that's a really, really neat little addition that just gives the world that much more personality. And so, yeah, I think that's very cool. Fighting her in the castle is cool. Yeah, it's a solid world, solid story implications. Gives Terra his first kind of like, oh, hey, like, you're susceptible to darkness, and it makes sense. So yeah, I like Castle Dreams. Castle Dreams are rad, dude. Potential hot take. I think this is a great world. I think that getting to play as Ven, helping her like prepare the dress. When you play as Aqua, you actually go and like, you know, go to the ball and light the stepmother like on fire, whatever you do. I think, you know, whatever that whole scene is, that's cool. The carriage or whatever. I think it's fun, man. I think this is a cool world. I think this is a great world. Yeah. Big fan of this one. Not quite goated, but I do think that's a really cool idea. You know, there's just so much going on. You meet the fairy godmother, you fight the cat, you work with the little annoying mouse. Like, it's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Dwarf Woodlands, meanwhile, is going to be okay. I'm putting a lot in okay. Sorry. I swear I'm a fan of this series. Dwarf Woodlands is just a little bit one-dimensional. It either is the forest or it's like the one part where you get to the castle. Do you go in the sewer? Is this the world you go in the sewer? I guess I'll go good. I was trying to remember if you go in the sewer in like this world. I guess you do, don't you? Or is that Enchanted Minion? Ooh, I am kind of forgetting. I choose to believe it's good. Go with your heart. I think it's good. It's a solid world. It's cool to hang out in the dwarves' houses, or the house, whatever. It's cool to run around. There's an open field that I think is like beautiful. I think it's a really cool little sort of midpoint in the world that you fight some baddies in. I just think it's a very nice, serene scene that is interrupted by violence. That's always tight. Solid world. Perfectly solid. It's like right in between these two, between good and okay. I really do need to make more tiers. I thought this would be enough, and I was wrong. So that's on me. Olympus Coliseum Birth by Sleep. It is okay because it's functionally the same thing as the Coliseum in Kingdom Hearts 1. The Zack stuff is cool if you're a Final Fantasy person. I am not. I've only ever played FF16, which I get derided for constantly, and I deserve. So his inclusion is just like, for me, it's like, okay. My buddy, a couple of my friends are huge FF7 fans, so they were like losing their minds when I told them about this, which I'm happy for them. His inclusion does not like automatically make the game better. It's kind of true of like Kingdom Hearts 2. Like, none of what I said about this world is based on any of the Auron stuff, because I just have no context. Like, when Auron shows up in Kingdom Hearts 2, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, that's a dude with a good look. And that was just kind of it. But my Final Fantasy friends are like, whoa, like, that's really cool and meaningful. And I'm like, I believe you. Like, whatever. So, anyway, Olympus Coliseum for Birth by Sleep is cool. You go out into, like, the square to fight all the, like, buzzy, fly, heartless guys. Or, like, jellyfish. Either way, that's cool. And then the rest of it is just kind of functional, so it's fine. Deep Space is good. I do wish that it was like a Deep Space / like Hawaii world, but it all takes place prior to the movie technically beginning, and actually you help kind of like facilitate his escape. I love that. I think that's a very cool idea, that like you're part of the reason that the movie even happens is because you help Stitch escape. I love that you fight Sparky. I think that's awesome, right? Tying everything together. Solid world. I'm not a huge like fly outside the ship on your Keyblade glider. Fly outside the ship on your Keyblade guide. Oh my god. Fly outside the ship on your Keyblade glider guy. I'm not a huge guy in that department. It doesn't move me, but it's perfectly fine for what it is. It's not like actively taking away from my enjoyment of the world. It is all right. And all right, it will remain in the good tier. Disney Town is okay. Disney Town is borderline good. I hate the theme. I know, whatever, small gripe. The games do nothing for me in this one. I don't find myself to be a huge fan of the racing. I don't like Fruit Ball that much. I don't like the ice cream thing that much. So yeah, it's purely a stop the gap world to upgrade your stuff, grab some stickers, do some rumble races or fruit brawl or whatever, and then get out. It's fine. I don't actively hate it or anything, but I'm not ever stoked to go back. So that is why it is in the okay tier. Neverland is rad. Neverland in Birth by Sleep is fantastic. Neverland in Birth by Sleep is so much better built out than it was in Kingdom Hearts 1. You know, the ability just to go around the world and interact with, like, Peter Pan and the Lost Boys. You know, you go to, like, the Mermaid Cove and stuff. Obviously, put Peter Pan in his place is so iconic to the series. It's like a meme, but, like, yeah, I just think it's a great world. I like it quite a bit. Radiant Garden in Birth by Sleep is good. Yeah, it's good. I will say it introduces those little, like, flower bunny guys that, like, shoot wind at you. I hate those things. Again, probably not a hot take. Maybe it is. I don't know. I hate those things. Those are maybe my most hated enemy in all of the Kingdom Hearts games. More than the car guys, and probably more than the KH2, like, Inferno, Red, Nocturne guys, whatever. I might hate the little wind guys more. I hate them. I fucking hate them. They're so annoying. And when I go to Radiant Garden, I'll, like, get locked in. Like, I'll get sucked into the world, let me do my thing, and they'll hit me, and I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I hate this world. Like, this is awful. I don't hate the world, but I do hate those guys, and they actively impede my enjoyment of the world, so that's why it's good. It's also, again, just a bunch of fountains. It's better than, you know, it's better than nothing, but it's not, like, amazing. So it's fine. Mirage Arena is, like, whatever. It's not even really fair to rank it. It's cool. It's like I'll just talk about it. I wouldn't rank it because it's not like a true world, but it's cool for what it is. I do think it's a nice way to, like, give you a chance to keep leveling up. Obviously, you know, the command board games, which is cool for what it is. Not a thing I'm trying to do for hours or whatever, but, like, it's fine. Yeah, it's like whatever. It's fine. It's a side thing, so it's not that important. And then Keyblade Graveyard is okay. It's just not an interesting world, right? Like, you show up and you're like, okay, cool. Like, all these Keyblades represent the people that fell here. That's really, really interesting. But that's all the world is. The atmosphere of the world is far better than the world itself. And maybe that doesn't make sense, but I'm a wacky guy. What can I say? But yeah, like, the ambiance and the gravitas of the world is there, but the world itself is not that interesting. It's purely a place for, like, battle and the final, you know, couple boss fights of the game or whatever. So the world itself is not that good. And also, I hate the tornadoes in Birth by Sleep. I think that's stupid. I don't know why that's in there. I know why it's in there. It's because you can't just, like, run through the world and do the final battle. But I would rather have had you show up in the world and, like, run forward, and there just be, like, waves and waves of Heartless you have to fight through, and then you get to, like, a final save point, save, and that's okay. Like, knuck up if you buck. Like, here we go, it's final fight. I hate the tornadoes. I hate trying to avoid them. Well, then why don't you just jump in them and fight? Sure, I don't know, man. It's just, because then the camera gets all wacky and you're in this, like, enclosed space. I just don't like it. It's not for me. Again, I'm not a big, like, believer in the combat being the main reason I like these games. And I know that combat's unavoidable, and I don't think the combat is bad. I don't, like, dislike it, but it's not my, like, major focus and my major enjoyment of these games. I'm much more like the story, music, characters, environments guy. And so, based on that, Keyblade Graveyard does nothing for me. It's not whack. I don't hate it, but it's not fun. So that's Birth by Sleep. Birth by Sleep, nothing in the goated tier, but I do really enjoy Castle Dreams in Neverland. They got some decent stuff and a couple things that are kind of whatever. Nothing terrible, though. Birth by Sleep, nothing awful. Okay, a couple more. Last two, in fact. Destiny Islands in Dream Drop. When do you go to Destiny Islands in Dream Drop? Okay, so I just got back from checking. You don't, right? That's why I was getting freaked out. You don't go to Destiny Islands. It's just in cutscenes. Not counting it. It's not a world. Traverse Town in Dream Drop is rad. It's not quite goated, except that it is. It's actually goated. It's very cool, man. Dream Drop is not my favorite Kingdom Hearts game. The drop mechanic is terrible. The combat in this game is exploitable and silly. The Dream Eaters concept kind of bugs me, whatever. But Traverse Town is really sick. The music in Traverse Town somehow is just as good as the original. Traverse in Trance is beautiful. Traverse in Trance is gorgeous. It's so well done. The other guys in this game, what are they called? Who are the guys you run into? The World Ends With You, that's right. The World Ends With You. Those guys, again, do nothing for me because I have never played that game, and frankly, I had never heard of that game. For what they are in this game, they're fine. I like Beat, he's funny. But this is a great world. The mailroom is very fun. Going into the, like, hotel deal where you fight Hako Monkey is fun. I like this world quite a bit. There's so much more to explore this time around. Flick Arena or whatever, like, it's cool. I like Traverse Town quite a bit. It's goated. Very good. Prankster's Paradise is rad. I like this world. I think it's cool. Monstro, my beef with Monstro is that it's a world where you go into it and it's a cool idea, but you then are just met with the exact same background in dreary rooms with no real personality beyond the very first time you see them. And that's just kind of what it is. Prankster's Paradise is the opposite. If you told me there's been an entire world based around the relatively short amount of time in the movie that Pinocchio spends as a donkey, I would have said, well, that doesn't make a ton of sense. How much personality can you fit in there? And it turns out a ton. You can fit a ton of personality in there. Running around, there's the amusement park when you first walk in, there's the tent, and like whatever, the flow motion kind of like invalidates the tent, but it's still a cool like area. The crab fight, whatever, is like silly. But it is cool that he like freezes Monstro. That's like a whoa, like that's a meaningful kind of like oh shit moment. The crab fight itself, or the crabs, I guess both of them fight in and of themselves, is kind of like not that interesting. But overall, the world is very good. You talk with the Blue Fairy at one point, like it ties into the movie pretty well. Like I think it's a really well done world overall. La Cité des Cloches, I think is how you say this in French, is good. This is a fine world. I just don't quite love it comparatively to some of the top ones here. And I don't really even have a good reason why. Like, it's got enough variety, it's got enough different spaces, the story is totally fine. It just kind of feels hollow to me. And I truly don't even have a good reason why. I wish I could tell you. I really wish I could. I'm not trying to be like whatever. I just can't tell you why this world does not really move me as much as other ones do. Yeah, it's just fine. I don't know. The gargoyles or whatever. Court of Miracles is pretty, I guess. The general aesthetic of the world is perfectly acceptable for the movie and for the part of the game you're in. I don't know, man. It just kind of exists to me. I wish I had more reasons. The grid. I'm a Tron guy, but the grid is not that great. It's simply good. And that is also potentially a hot take, because I know people hate the grid in this game, but I think it's totally fine. I think people hate on the aesthetic too much. If you don't like the grid's aesthetic, it's because you don't like Tron, and that's okay. But if you do like Tron like I do, then the grid is perfect for what you're looking for. Why do I like the grid if I don't like Space Paranoids? I don't know, man. I just think the grid is a better representation of that property than Space Paranoids is. Insofar as, like, you do the light cycle deal, you have a really cool fight with Rinsler, with Tron. I love that. I love that the world flips upside down on you. I think that's a really cool gimmick. It doesn't overstay its welcome. You do your deal, you survive, you go back down, you fight. I love the inclusion of the movie scenes. Yeah, I enjoy this world for what it is. It's not quite like tippy top, right? Like, it doesn't quite have the same emotional peaks, and it doesn't quite have the same environmental variety that other worlds do. But I think it's solid, man. I think it's a solid little world. Next, Country of the Musketeers is whack. I do not like this world very much. I don't like Country of the Musketeers. It's just like, okay. Again, we all know, this is an opinion that's been parroted a million times, that including like direct-to-DVD movie or whatever in Kingdom Hearts is kind of silly. It's confusing. Why does Mickey know that he's on a quest, right? And he's a Keyblade Master, but like the other two guys don't? Like, Godal and Goofy don't. The Holy Moly fight is annoying. It's not hard. It's not difficult. It's not fun. It's just annoying. The Beagle Boys, and I know I praised Enchanted Dominion for letting you fight movie characters, and that's cool that it lets you fight the Beagle Boys too, but it's just on the one stage, and like literal stage where the musical or where the opera is happening, and then that's just kind of where it ends. Yeah, it doesn't do anything for me. I don't like this world very much. It's orange. It's too orange. It's too orange. It's just all orange. Everything's orange. The rocks are orange. The main sort of place you come in is kind of too orange. I don't like it. Sorry. If there's any people like really caping for the Country of the Musketeers, I don't want you to like hate me. I don't want you to think that I don't value your opinion. I do. It's just that this world does nothing for me at all. Whatsoever. We have Symphony of Sorcery, which is good. A Fantasia world's a great idea. The fact that every attack... No, that's rad. Yeah, it really is rad, isn't it? The fact that every attack you land creates music. I think it's such a cool idea. This is a great world. The Chernobog fight is great. I just love this world. I think it's a cool... It's gorgeous. You fight in like the clouds at one point. You fight in the forest. You fight in like Iceland. You fight in the fall world. Like, it's awesome. The World That Never Was, we already ranked it, so I'm not going to bother. So that is it for... Right? That's it? Yeah, that's it. So that is it for Dream Drop. For a game that I don't like very much, I do like its worlds. I do think it has some pretty good worlds. I do not like one of them, but I do enjoy others quite a bit. So last on our list, the most recent Kingdom Hearts game is Kingdom Hearts 3. Olympus Coliseum from Kingdom Hearts 3 is goated. I like Hercules. I like going up to Mount Olympus. Fighting up Mount Olympus is an awesome way to kick this game off. It's so fun running up the mountain, fighting the Rock Titan, fighting the bad guys along the way, going to Thebes, having the big battle with the like chain heartless guy, like the dude that has like the hammer or whatever, or like he has like a ball and chain, something like that, is great. Literally the only thing that I wish was different about this world is that I wish Phil talked, but I also understand the reason that they did that, and I have no issue with that whatsoever. I think that's very sweet. So yeah, I got nothing bad to say about this world. I think it's great. You fight against all the other Titans. It's so sick. That's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah, it's a great world. This is a really good world. We got Twilight Town here. This is rad. Twilight Town here is rad. I like the little chef stuff, man. And this is probably where I should tell people, and this is where people, if you have not already made your decision about me as a Kingdom Hearts like YouTube guy, whatever, or my opinions in general, this is where you will probably draw your line in the sand. Kingdom Hearts 3 is my favorite Kingdom Hearts game. We'll let that stew for a second. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3 is my favorite Kingdom Hearts game. I think it's a great game. I think it's a blast. I think people had expectations that were never going to be able to be reached, and they disliked the game because of that. I think the worlds overall, well, whatever, we'll talk about the worlds, but I think it's a great game overall. And I like the little chef stuff. I think it's cute. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. You have to do the one time or whatever, and then you're done. You never have to go back in if you don't want to, unless you're trying to like 100% the game, which I did. I think that Twilight Town is cool. You keep the charm, you keep the aesthetics. Like, yeah, you lose the odd jobs, which genuinely I kind of wish were still in that game, but you replace it with the little chef stuff. You still have the mansion. You can run through the forest. You can run underground for a little bit, not as much as Kingdom Hearts 2. You do lose the like train to the other part of Twilight Town, which again, I wish that was still there. Otherwise, it's great. I think Twilight Town and Kingdom Hearts 2 or 3 is great. I have to scroll down and grab stuff now. Toy Box is good. The only reason, and I know that, again, this is not a hot take, the only reason Toy Box is not higher is because so much of the world takes place in the toy store, and that's it. And that's a shame. Andy's room, when you first walk in Toy Box, if you have any kind of emotional connection to the movies, Toy Story movies, the first three, because Toy Story 4 doesn't need to exist, but if you have any kind of emotional connection to the first three Toy Story movies, going and starting that world in Andy's room when the three main characters, Sora, Donald, and Goofy, are like little Lego guys, talking with Buzz and Woody and the rest of the crew, that's like peak Kingdom Hearts. It really is. Like, that is fantastic. I love that. That's great, man. Like, what an awesome way to explore that world and to start off. Yeah, I love Toy Box. I just wish it was more than just the toy store. It makes sense, right? I get it. Most of the Heartless you fight are toys. That's where toys are found. That's totally fine. Yeah, overall for me, I just wish that it was more than just that. But I'm not hating. This is a solid world. If for no other reason than just where you start with Andy's room, because that's great. Kingdom of Corona is okay. Kingdom of Corona is fine. It is perfectly okay. It doesn't blow me away by any stretch. Like, I do think it's cool that once again it like really matches up with the movie itself, which is great. Running through the forest, you find the little ugly duckling sign, whatever. That's all well and good. It just doesn't have the same sort of like energy that some of the other worlds in this game do. So yeah, it's okay. Monstropolis is good. And honestly, if I can keep it 100, it's like borderline good to okay. It's not whack. I don't dislike it, but it should have been more. The factory is a cool spot. The factory is a completely acceptable part of the world to explore. I just personally would have liked it more if you could explore more of Monstropolis itself. Because again, right, we kind of run into KH1 Neverland syndrome here, right? Where it's like, you tell me this is Monstropolis, and like, no, it's not. It's a factory. It's the Monsters Incorporated factory. You should just call it Monsters Inc. You literally could have just called this Monsters Inc. Which, they don't want to because that's the name of the movie and that's confusing. That's fine. But I'm just saying, like, if you're going to call it Monstropolis, let me get out of that factory, explore Monstropolis. Let me go to Mike's house. Let me go to, the restaurant or whatever. Like, there's more to that world than just the factory. But that's where the vast majority of the movie takes place. So I get why they went there, but I just wish it was more. Yeetus Vanitas happens here, though, so it can't be anything other than good. It literally can't be lower based on that moment alone. So that's Monstropolis. Arendelle, I'm not an Arendelle hater, but it is only okay. I don't think this is like the horrendous, awful world that everyone says it is. I love the music of this world, not Let It Go, like stop it. I'm talking about the actual original composition for this world. I think it's very, very nice, very sweet. It's nice to listen to. I like the battle theme. More than anything, I don't even dislike Arendelle. I dislike the Ice Palace. I dislike the Ice Palace that Larxene creates. That part kind of brings the world to a grinding halt for me. Yeah, obviously it's all like white snow, fine. Well, you were saying that Country of Musketeers is too orange. Like, how can you dislike all the white snow? Well, because you're still moving around. You're still running up a mountain. You still are jumping up in like the wind or whatever. Like, there's just more going on there. Technical limitations, I get all that, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think Arendelle is like this awful world that people think it is. I've literally heard people say that Arendelle is the worst Kingdom Hearts world of all of them, and that's ridiculous to me. That does not make any sense to me. I could never, in good faith, ever say that Arendelle is worse than Pride Lands. Or Country of Musketeers, or Monstro, man. I'm keeping it real. Like, this is gonna get people heated. I know it is. I'm not trying to start discourse, but like, yeah, no, it's just not for me. I think Arendelle's fine. I think it's perfectly fine. The Caribbean, of course, is goated. Duh. This world's brilliant. This is maybe the best Kingdom Hearts world overall. It's honest to God, for me personally, it's either the Caribbean or Traverse Town KH1 for my favorite Kingdom Hearts world overall. It's brilliant. It's so good. I love pirates. I've always been a big pirates guy. Not even necessarily the franchise, but just pirates in general. So getting to basically play Assassin's Creed Black Flag in Kingdom Hearts 3, having naval battles which don't feel weird, they don't feel like tacked on, they don't have a weird control scheme, they are just perfectly in line with the rest of the game. I think it's awesome. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. The music is good. Yeah, I wish that they had the Pirates of the Caribbean theme in there, but like the music they replaced it with is perfectly acceptable. The crabs thing, yeah, you know, you'll either like that or you're gonna hate it. It didn't bother me. It didn't like make me dislike the world. I didn't love it, but collecting crabs to update or to upgrade your ship is like fine. But I thought this is an awesome, awesome, awesome world. The Davy Jones stuff, like the Luxord stuff, like Luxord, him is in this world. Yeah, I shouts, dude. It's great. San Francisco is okay. No, it's good. It's good. It's a little samey. Now, this is the opposite of like what we talked about as far as like Monstropolis, right? When they say San Francisco, you are getting San Francisco. You got that city. That is what you have. It's it is, just that and nothing else. So, it's kind of whatever. But it's good. I think that it's fun to go around there. I will say, like, this is so specific, either change Sora's costume in some way and like do kind of like a Monstropolis toy box thing where like you make him look more like the movie, or just leave him alone. I just think giving him the goggles makes him look kind of silly. They are just awkward to me, and I don't like when they are on. But yeah, it's okay. It's good. It's a good world. The Baymax fight, yeah, huge disappointment, right? We can just be honest about that. The Baymax fight versus like Dark Baymax or whatever is not it. I don't hate the Dark Cubes. I think people dislike the Dark Cubes quite a bit. I think they're cool. I think that's a pretty fun boss fight. So yeah, so solid little world. Solid, good world. Only two more. Keyblade Graveyard in Kingdom Hearts 3 is rad. Now this is completely different from Keyblade Graveyard in Birth by Sleep, right? Because Birth by Sleep, you just have your long tunnels, you fight the tornadoes, you move on, your final battle, you leave. Obviously, again, technical limitations being what they are, the bringing together of all of the Warriors of Light, plus, Donald Goofy, and Sid shows up. Even the world itself, like, it's constantly moving, the battle's happening. It's peak, man. Like, this is what we've been building towards for 20 whatever years, 18 whatever years when it came out. I like the Keyblade Graveyard quite a bit in this game. I think it's fun. I like going back there. Which leads us to the final one. Not the final world, that world that's called the final world, but the final world on this list, which is Scala ad Kylum, which is rad. It's so borderline goated only because of its music. Its music is brilliant, dude. It's so good. The music in Scala ad Kylum is so good. It's so good. I love it. I love it. But even the world on its own, you take that out of it, it's still a gorgeous world. There's fun fights. Remind did this world a lot of justice as far as like being able to go through and explore it more, which is awesome, because in the original game of KH3, like, you just kind of run through the first couple of rooms and it's over. Remind being able to go through the world and actually like explore it, do more with it. I think it's great. Scala's awesome. This is a great world. Shouts out. I'm excited to explore it more, right, in future games. Mickey is supposed to be going there here pretty soon. So I'm excited to explore more. And that's it. That is the list. My favorite Kingdom Hearts worlds are Traverse Town from Kingdom Hearts 1, Twilight Town and Timeless River from Kingdom Hearts 2, Traverse Town from Dream Drop, and Olympus Coliseum, and the Caribbean from Kingdom Hearts 3. And that's their list. This is how Kingdom Hearts worlds shape up, in my opinion. But again, this is purely my opinion. I would love to know your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I'm foolish for this. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. As always, there's all kinds of other videos on my channel to check out. Maybe I'll start doing more of these like tier list or ranking stuff, or kind of more casual videos if y'all respond positively to it. Let's find out. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye. Bye.